What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be talking about CoryxKenshin because a recent situation came up with his ex-girlfriend. Now this situation is really new to me, at least as far as I know, and surprisingly enough I got told of this situation on Roblox, the neighbors game of all places. You know, if I keep getting told information like this at this rate, it's going to be through Roblox voice chat. But that's not the main point here, guys. You guys are here to know why this user on Twitter, 2ripe_, is accusing and calling out CoryxKenshin. Now, again, this situation is very new because as I'm recording this, it is June 14th, 2025, and the Twitter post regarding CoryxKenshin happened on July 13th. I mean, the main post was on July 13th, but the TikTok videos this user named 2ripe_ posted afterwards were only a couple hours ago. As far as I know, it is only Xbox messages, Discord messages, and TikTok videos that we have evidence for to account. And again, I personally do not know CoryxKenshin's Xbox account. I mean, I don't play Xbox anymore, so how would I know? If any of you guys know his Xbox or you're in contact with him and you can verify his username on the screen here, please let me know. Now, the real victim here, fellas, is this user named Panda Ninja XX Official. 2ripe_ is just trying to spread awareness for this. Now, the person we'll be talking about for the rest of this video is going to be Panda Ninja, since they're the real victim in this situation, and 2ripe is just like the lobbyist in this situation, if you know from my MapHat video. The biggest parts of this video we'll be talking about are these TikTok slideshows this Panda Ninja woman put under her name. And I've skimmed through these slideshows because I wanted to get this video out as quickly as possible so this woman's story and the allegations can be more spread out, if you know what I mean. And from what I'm understanding here, these slideshows are not like more so like going into like super specifics about the relationship. It's more so like calling them out on like their behavior and how they treated them in the relationship. Again, these slideshows are written in a way where it's like poetic. It's like a story of some kind. Not to be mistaken with me saying that it's all fake, but it's written like it's some fictional story. Not to say that these isn't fake and whatever. Again, these could be very well real allegations that really did happen. And the biggest pieces of evidence we have for all of this occurring are the like Xbox messages and this one TikTok this woman uploaded where it appears to be her and CoryxKenshin, and CoryxKenshin confessing to her that he did some really bad stuff to her while she was sleeping.
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry. I just got this fetish that I do. You know.
Well,
I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
What'd you do, Corey?
Just don't worry about it.
But there is also the nuance that they both consent to this while they sleep or some bullshit like that. But for most people, they don't want bad stuff happening to them while they're asleep. Now, again, the slideshows are not really evidence in and of themselves. I mean, they are like witness evidence. They are like telling of what happened. But I believe, as far as we know, that's what they are. They're just slideshows. They're just text on a screen. Again, I'm not trying to dismiss these allegations. I wouldn't be covering this if I was. But we do have to look at both sides. We do have to look at the objectivity of the situation. And slideshows and text, if that's really all we have to go off of, they don't really amount to anything other than just text. But the fact that we all have the slideshows, that can be compensated for the fact that we do have a TikTok video, again, of CoryxKenshin and that woman, and Cory is confessing to doing really bad stuff to her while she was asleep. Now, to the credit of some random unknown Discord users, they do say that in the video it was a joke. That was it. It was a joke CoryxKenshin made, and it was really disgusting. And it is. It's a really disgusting joke that Cory made. And they do say that the woman never stated that he did sexually assault this woman. Which, if it is true, then that's good. I mean, I don't know who this Discord user is. I mean, the 2ripe_ is the one posting under it, so I can only assume that this is true. I mean, but let's be fair. If I was dating someone, right, and they were telling me that they did some stuff to me while I was asleep, while we were walking down a hallway, there's no one around, and it's just us in this hallway that we have, and this person that I'm dating is smiling, he's all giggly about it, he's joking about it, he seems like it's a joke. I would reasonably believe that this person that I'm dating did sexually assault me while I was asleep. And in the best case scenario that they didn't really sexually assault me while I was asleep and they only said that as a joke just to mess with me, just to gauge my reaction, what person would be compelled to make that joke in the first place? What thought process do you have to go through in order to think, hey, maybe I should joke about sexually assaulting my partner while they were asleep? That seems like a really good joke. And keep in mind, there is no punchline involved. It is just them saying to them, oh, hey, I did this to you while you were asleep. I know what I'm saying sounds really subjective because there's a lot of social nuances. There's a lot of stuff that happens between people and not really what's happening outside of our control. But there comes a point where you really have to just really imagine yourself in that situation, where you really have to put yourself in that person's shoes and really think to yourself, how would I react if I was in this situation? Most people would reasonably believe that if they put themselves in the shoes of another person, in this hypothetical, it's my shoes that they're being put in, they would have the same reaction as I would have. But again, I know I said we have to look at the facts, we have to look at the objectivity of the situation, we have to look at what really happened. But in cases like sexual assault or rape or child sexual abuse or just sexual violence in general, those concepts will still work, but they're really heavily influenced by the seriousness of accusations such as sexual assault and rape. As a really, really good example of this, imagine you are like a father, right? You have like 2 children and you're having a very good life, but then your bestest buddy, who has been your buddy all throughout your life, is accused of being a rapist, a sexual assaulter, or sexually assaulting children, or sexually assaulting people when they're asleep, as CoryxKenshin is being accused of. I know they said they didn't really sexually assault her, but it's for hypothetical. Because your children are most likely around your best friend or your once best friend, you would do your utmost best to keep your children away from your best friend that is accused of being a sexual assaulter or a rapist. Even if you wholeheartedly believe in objectivity and reason like I am, you're still influenced by the seriousness and the riskiness of an accused sexual assaulter and a rapist. I know I've yapped too much, so let me connect all of this back to the CoryxKenshin situation. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever, even in parallel universes, that God could conjure upon his greenest earth, even on the tiniest of islands like North Sentinel Island, that would warrant such a joke to come out of the mouth of CoryxKenshin, a person beloved by the masses of YouTube. And again, to their credit, they did say, at least this unknown Discord user that this Right To You guy posted, they did say that it was a joke. It was a quote-unquote joke. They didn't actually do anything. But again, I have to reiterate, why would CoryxKenshin make that sort of joke in the first place when there's no joke involved? It's just them jokingly confessing to sexual assault. Again, I apologize for like the huge yap session. I probably should have stopped like 2 or 3 minutes in. But a lot of this shit gets thrown under the rug, like under the guise of a joke. Like a lot of this shit, like confessing to raping someone or sexually assaulting someone, it gets thrown under the rug of a joke, and it's just forgotten about, and nothing's really done about that until it actually happens. That's such a big issue for me, and I really have to step up when that thing happens. I really have to speak and advocate against it when it happens. Now, I've curated a list of these images, like all of them that's known, that's out there on the internet for like documentary purposes, you know, for evidence. And I was gonna pick out like a little list of them that I think are the most important, but there's already one on the Twitter thread, so we're gonna use that. This image right here is from CoryxKenshin 2, which I think was the account he was using at the time of their relationship. And I'll read it out to you so you won't be, you know, clicking off this video and losing your attention span. Backpedal. You were never used for sex. I need to make sure you understand that. I loved you. Like I said, didn't have my shit together. In reply, this woman says, "You love me? How was that possible?" I apologize if it sounds like I'm trying to mock these people. I'm really not. I'm really just trying to like keep your attention, you know, like read it out to you, keep your attention. You know what I'm saying? But we need to move on. If we apply this concept, this little tangent that he went on about not having his shit together, if we apply the slideshows and apply them here on this tangent he went on, it really doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, but I will say that I haven't watched CoryxKenshin in like a year or two, so my my opinion may be a little skewered because I haven't been keeping up with all of his progress, as well as the fact that he literally ghosts on YouTube every few months because of some bullshit he was making. Now, again, I don't exactly know when these two people started dating. I don't know when the timeline was. It's not exactly like a start date and an end date to when they broke up, but it seemed like during their time together, CoryxKenshin was doing pretty well for himself. He had all the money, he had all the fame, he had all the time in the world to dedicate his time and love to this woman that he was dating. And to say that he loved her and didn't have his shit together, it seems pretty contradictory. Again, I digress. I cannot do insight on what a man's life could be. There may be some more shit under the hood. I digress. Now, this particular image is really serious, and I think one of the most important ones we have to cover, because it is about sexual abuse. Apparently, this woman was sexually abused. Now, I don't know if it was in relation to Cory, or if it was in relation to another incident that she's not revealing for her own good. But this image, it reads, "I'm glad. I'm the same. I don't fuck anyone. Double bummer. The difference between you and I, though, is that I don't do it with just anyone because I was sexually abused. I'm not saying that for you to feel bad, whatever, but for you to understand. I know, you told me that. I didn't know I got lumped into the category with the person that did that, because I was being used for that. I guess that time when you told me how you felt was not real too." I don't think the Twitter thread specifically states, like it doesn't specifically detail anything about their, their lives together, their relationships together. And again, with how the situation is and how CoryxKenshin is really mysterious because he fucking disappears every few months, I really didn't expect to know much information about their lives together. And plus, I don't even think CoryxKenshin was really the type of guy, to just talk about his relationship with his girlfriend or whatever. I think he likes to keep some of his life private to some extent. But any information really, even if it seems minuscule, even if it seems minute, even if it seems unrelated, it doesn't help the situation, any information helps. It really does help clearing the situation and seeing what happened and, all that sorts of things. But I'm going to take a guess here and say that the text about, I guess, that time when you told me was in reference to the video where Cory is telling her that she got touched in her sleep. Because if that's the case, then don't be fucking surprised when you get lumped into the category of a sexual abuser. Even if it didn't happen, you're gonna get lumped into that category simply because of what you said alone. And again, I like to state that digital footprint is a real thing. It's happening in the case of CoryxKenshin when the woman, Panda Ninja, released that video that she took of CoryxKenshin. The people of the internet are not just some mindless bots spamming slurs in live streams and on Twitter threads. They are real human beings with real views on the world, with real feelings, and they will view you a certain way, good or bad, because of what you order at McDonald's. And again, I'd like to reiterate, so we don't get the wrong idea, is that at least in the Discord message that was shown, at least a couple hours ago, Cory did not sexually assault her, as this Discord user claims, but he did make that joke, which was disgusting, and it shouldn't have been said in the first place. Now, this one's the most serious and the most important one, because I think this is what the Panda Ninja guy, or not guy, girl, is really trying to tell us what happened, was the emotional and a mental abuse that really occurred. But I'm gonna read it out to you guys anyway, as it specifically reads. "But I guess I was just a good fuck for you. When you said relationship, I thought you meant I was just gonna ask you out. Nah. I mean, you were, but that's not all you were. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're with someone. That's how it felt at the time. Even if I wasn't, I wouldn't have let you again. When I did that with you is something I just don't do with anyone. You wouldn't let me fuck again, lol. No, I wouldn't." Now, I could go into a whole tangent about how CoryxKenshin is such a bad person. He's just a little rat because of how he's abusing this woman, how he's emotionally abusive, how he's mentally abusive towards this woman, and only goes to her when he needs something from her. In this case, whether it was money, sex, affection, or whatever, just whatever he wanted. But for the sake of the video, I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go to the next thing, which is just the cherry on top, and it's the cancer reveal. Now, this woman had a cancer diagnosis, I believe, after they broke up with CoryxKenshin. And again, I'm only going based off what's in the Twitter thread and what's in the slideshows. I mean, part of what's in the slideshows. So correct me if I'm wrong on any of these, like timeline-wise, evidence-wise, and all that. But again, the woman had a cancer diagnosis. We know that. But who also had a cancer diagnosis? CoryxKenshin's mom. Yes, CoryxKenshin's mom had a cancer diagnosis for any of my fellow samurais. And the cherry on top was when the woman revealed her diagnosis to CoryxKenshin, either when they broke up or not, and CoryxKenshin just replied casually with, "That was the most passive-aggressive cancer reveal ever, lol." Hello, this is Editor Wee here. I came on here to say two things. As I'm editing this, it is 7 p.m. July 14th. As I'm editing this, the Twitter thread that really made the call-out post was deleted. Every single part of it was deleted, except for one thing. It says last thing added to this thread for now, and it's apparently an update video by Panda Ninja herself. And there was also a lot of pushback from the samurai community from Cory, trying to like vet this and, verify all this information and all that. And I guess that kind of spooked 2ripe_ into deleting the whole thread and afraid of like the backlash that's gonna come. In which I get that if you're gonna be harassed by the samurai community because they don't want you tainting their view of their favorite creator, then yeah, I could understand that. But from what I know, the samurai community is pretty accepting. They're pretty, chill. They're pretty reasonable. And, I mean, if anyone's out there doing that type of shit, then they're not samurai. They're not true samurai. So to me, it's kind of suspicious to delete the whole entire thread, like, a day after making it. Especially when it starts catching wind. You know what I'm saying? And there's been multiple YouTubers that covered this topic already. They literally jumped onto this, like, fucking news stations. Now, the next thing I want to say is it's a little bit more minute, but the image you see here is literally just a text message. We don't see anything other than a text message and a keyboard. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know exactly if this is really Cory, because all we have is a text message and really nothing else. So in the later video after I'm out, it's going to kind of seem like I'm making an out to be like this really is Cory saying this, and I apologize for that. That's why I'm clarifying this for you now. So again, just to keep you informed, like I said, as I'm editing this, new information just came out, and the information that came out was 2ripe_ deleting the entire Twitter thread. Anyways, Editor Wee is out. Continue watching the video. Just did not give a fuck. He really didn't care. When you read something like that and you know it's from CoryxKenshin, that really skews your perspective on who CoryxKenshin really is. And even more so, it's so like shocking and so hypocritical because CoryxKenshin's mom also had cancer of some kind. So CoryxKenshin should know how devastating, heartbreaking, and damn near just depressing it is to hear a cancer diagnosis, especially from someone as close as his mom. It was like someone told him, "Hey, I blink. I eat sticks." And he replied with, "Cool, bro. That's cool." And it's so disrespectful because the level of casualness, the level of nonchalance that was given from CoryxKenshin because of this cancer diagnosis alone is just astounding. Again, anyone who doesn't know how to deal with the situation or has never been in this situation before would say, well, what's he supposed to do? What's he supposed to say? He's never... But dude, he had a cancer reveal from his mom. His mom had cancer of some point, so he should know how to handle this. Not from a medical perspective, but from a boyfriend perspective. He basically just said, fuck all with it. No, I don't give a damn. I don't give a shit. It's too much for me. I'm not gonna deal with it. To wrap things up, this whole situation is just a fuckfest, dude. And I'm not saying any of it is the victim's fault. Absolutely not. Not saying that. I'm saying from like perspective of like a fan who's only known Cory as to be this good guy who did everything he could, who does multiple streams and charity work, it really skews your perspective, and it really gives you a whiplash when you see little stuff like this come out. Because we've seen multiple shit come out of angels of YouTube, like Meaty Lad, for example. He was a good guy on YouTube for a while until he sent that image to a minor. And then the whole internet saw the evidence and he pretty much went silent about that for years. But in this case, CoryxKenshin, who's been ghosting for every fucking month or so, is only now getting outed by this victim of CoryxKenshin. Anyways, guys, it's 2 a.m. I really need to sleep. By the time I start editing this video, there's probably going to be more information out there. And so I'll try to do my best to like link it in the comments below, you know, try to give you guys the most up-to-date information I can. If you made it this far in the video, please feel free to subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And as far as I know, when I'm going to start editing this in the morning or when I wake up, there's probably going to be new information out there about this situation. So I'm going to go to bed now. See you guys.
Oh shit!